gonna start this video with some cursing. No, I do not have the COVID, first of all. I'm just in a lot of pain. I'm really tired. I can barely keep my eyes open. I hurt too much to go to sleep. And then there's the fact that I just think nonstop. Taking medications doesn't help that. It makes it worse because I think slower. There's a lot of people like me who run scenarios. We run statistics. We look at the given environment and we learn from history. We pay attention. What do you need to be scared of? Well, turns out for most of us, a lot. If you're not rich, you're probably not going to get treated well. If you're rich, you can distance yourself from those people. You can tell the difference between people who are living it and those who have never had to. Those who have never had to are going to tell you how it is and be completely wrong. And you can tell, usually, by the way that they're talking to you. There is zero respect there. You haven't done anything to them wrong. You just exist as a homeless person. That's bad enough. If you're not pretty, a lot of people find that insulting. You know, my dad, he used to tell me, Sean, I can't finish my meal if there's a fat person around. He's a very large man. Well, not very large, but he's large. He's rotund. And I always thought that was real mean of him. My dad does a lot of things that are real mean. He doesn't care. He just thinks it's manly. That's how men act. Are you fucking kidding me? No. My dad never had to live it. My intent is to kill predators with time. First of all, the more I keep their names out there, and the more pressure I put on these different departments, all of which are in trouble right now and under review in Colorado, all of the departments that I spoke out about, and some of them are under multiple reviews. Like, first of all, when Officer Waylon Lolatai was kicked out of Denver Police Department for assaulting a person, why did he get to walk away to work for another department? With all of the rumors against me, and all of these cops were talking about it, I mean, seriously. When I was in that bay with the ambulance, they were taking me out. My friggin' wrist was all cocked sideways in the handcuffs. And there's a whole bunch of friggin' cops in there. Badges galore all over the place. Most of whom I have told stories about on my Facebook about their crimes against humanity. And one name pops up more than others, more than all the rest of them, and that is Officer Keith Steinman. I wonder what became of him. I would like to know. I certainly hope that that man is in prison. He has personally come up to me on 11 different occasions and bragged about killing my friends. But I knew what to look out for with him from the start. There's a guy named Michael Pennington, goes by Monkey, came up and told me, That's the kind of stuff that Officer Steinman does. He said, he's probably going to tell you that he shot Ash at the hospital. He didn't. Just so you know, he didn't. He's just going to say that shit to egg you on. Who is Ash? He was a friend. He was a little out there, you know. A lot of them are, but he had his heart in the right place. He fought for our rights. He didn't give a fuck what color you were. Anyway, I have this person's name in here, so I'm not going to show you the whole picture, but here's a picture they drew. It's very sweet, isn't it? It certainly is. It warrants reading. I hope some of these things help you in some way. I know it's not a lot with how everything is right now. I really wanted to let you know that I wanted to help in any way that I can. So here's my number. Please text or call at any time. I want to be a person who will listen to you and only give advice if you ask for it. So a little about myself. I'm 27, married, and have an adorable troublemaker. It's a good start. Oh, let's see. I have mental health issues due to a head injury from abuse as a kid. So that led and left me in really bad times. So in and out of mental hospitals and shelters. I had no one to help me after my mom died. She was my best friend. What I thought were my friends just used me until I had nothing to give. I felt so alone and angry. It was the fucking hardest years of my life, so I had tried to end it. Good thing I'm bad with blades. Ha ha. Sorry about my dark humor. Um, there's a male's name on the package, but the handwriting looks very effeminate, and with a blade, that's usually women who do that. Usually, there are a couple of times that I was, you know what, I'm going to continue reading this. This is a good letter, and I'm thankful for it. A lot of people hate it. Dark humor. Right now, I'm in such a good place in my life, so now I want to help people who are in those dark and hard places. So my main focus has been on you, Sean. I watch you video every day. Thank you. I hope the stuff isn't too scary. I hope the point comes across. I try to say it in as nice a fashion as I can. Sometimes I get tired of asking nicely and I scream about everything that's wrong. And homelessness is no joke. One of the predators that I talked about, I saw him today up here, up to his same stuff. He's got 7 kids now. Still got them big long curly eyelashes. He's a little more robust. Why am I telling that story? I need to finish reading this. Julian Dedgar asked to join the Real Justice for Natalie Bollinger. All right, it's a notification. My heart literally hurts for you, my brothers, seeing what the world does to you, like shot me in the heart, and I think about this every day. Um, I can't read that word there, but it says something such chill and genuine guy deserve better. The world preys on weak, disabled, and just anyone in need. I know things will get better for you soon, though. Love you, brother. Maybe one day we'll sit and smoke together. Anyways, I'll try to send more care packages. Just let me know what you'll need or stuff you want. Please don't feel bad for asking. It's really no trouble for me. That looks horrible. Haha, I'm sorry. Let me know if you have any questions about the electronics. I'm not a crazy religious person. Jesus loves you. I won't mention religion again if that's not your thing. That's not my agenda. Um, I'm fine with people having religion. Oh, it also says, P.S. I'm bad at drawing. If you couldn't tell, haha, on the back. You know what? When I first started drawing, I was 15. Like I tried to dabble in art before that, but I literally couldn't draw a stick figure. There was other stuff that I could kind of sort of almost make it look like what I wanted it to, but not really. But a stick figure, for some odd reason, was beyond me for years. Um, the ability to draw is not your ability to put pencil to paper. It doesn't matter if you can put that pencil down one time or 100,000 times. It doesn't matter how long you're able to hold it. Are you able to use it at all? For me, I have fine motor skills, good hand-eye dexterity, but it's not super fast. You're not going to get super fast at it. With a lot of the things that I've been trying to explain, with how the disabled have been treated, how the homeless have been treated, and both of those groups continue to be so. The majority of the people killed by police in 2019 were disabled. Over half. So no matter how you cut the cookie, that's the majority. Now we can go into what Congress considers a majority in the Senate or whatever, but we're talking about popular vote here. Popular vote is this. You got 99 people on a ship. You have a yes or no question. Do we go to port or do we head off into the ocean? If 49 say no and 50 say yes, then you're going to go. That's democracy. The only true democracy in world history is Pirates of the Caribbean, 1720s, remnants of Queen Anne's War. I'm going to stop you for a moment and show you what it is that I was sent. Now, I had a lot of stuff that was stolen from me and taken and things of that nature. And although I'm not going to get anywhere near getting all of that back, um, I was, and I suppose someone's going to tell me about the white privilege because I got sent this. You know, I didn't, before Natalie died, I didn't borrow more than $5 at a time, and that's if I would absolutely had to. If I couldn't find any rabbits for dinner, it's different. My back is screwed up right now. I didn't get any sleep last night. And I couldn't pull a bow if I wanted to at this point in time. My brain goes faster than my mouth, so I have to control that so I don't stutter. If you put a belt around your chest, another thing that I have been told does work is like a knitted scarf. Pull it a little bit tight. Inhale, and you speak as much as you can without inhaling. Try to let out every word as slowly and concisely as you can. And if you can do that, if you can achieve that goal, then people will begin to understand you better. But they will also be pissed off at you because you sound like you are talking to them like they're an idiot, which just makes you sound like an idiot. And I get that, which is why this is something you want to do in, well, private. If you need to take a breather, take a breather. If you gotta take a hoodie that's a size too small and tie it around your waist while you're at school, if you really super extra need it, put it on and zip it up. So I got sent an iPad for starters. Like, I had a tablet at one point in time. Jamie Curtis had bought it for me. Don't get me wrong, I did give her the money for it. But also, we've gone shopping to try to get me one. This is when I made the Michelle Brannick post, or the Michelle Brannick profile. I decided I didn't want to live anymore, so I was going to destroy my Facebook. Looking back at how many predators are on my Facebook, documentation of predators, how many, how often, where at. But the difficulty is getting these people to collect the evidence or forcing them to take it somehow. Like, y'all keep telling me about how, well, not y'all, getting that wrong, directing it at the wrong target environment, correct? A lot of the people that get on here don't have any problem with me. Of course, a lot of them get on just because they want to press the thumbs down button. Now, no, that is really tart. It's pink lemonade, but it's warm. I'm trying to find the bag of stuff that I oh my god. Pretty much everywhere I went, the police took advantage of it. Now, with those hundreds of conversations that I recorded with witnesses, it's hard to deny those. And a lot of those witnesses have tried to have it destroyed from Facebook. They're like, oh, Sean, you can use it in court if you want to. A couple of them did. I'm like, that's the thing, is that I will never be allowed to show it in court unless someone goes in with me to make the cops take a look. Many of those people claim that they tried to make reports. Now, were they lying to me, or were the police lying? It's a good question. Who should we ask? Aaron Cockerham, Andy Hughes, Carl Rogers, just to name a few. But I also have to try to forgive these folks. They get all infatuated with death and murder shows, a lot of them. And whatever lie they got to tell to try to get the inside scoop or to try to meddle in affairs that ain't theirs. And do a lot more harm than good. That's why the police need to do their jobs. And that's why instead of that crap in Arapahoe County from 2012, I'm not sure how many of you saw that video. If they were asked a question about the disabled, and then listen to those people respond to it, they came up with the worst possible solutions, unless you're just trying to make money off of people. So this person sent me socks. This is somebody who knows something about homeless people. These are socks. What's the number one thing that people who are homeless are going to ask you for? Socks. They might ask you if you got some freshies. What does that mean? Socks. It's called regional lingo, or rather cultural dialect. It's not a regional lingo because it's actually used worldwide. Isn't that weird? That's just because there's a bunch of hippies traveling around all over the place. We need them freshies. Now, I'm not homeless anymore, but I don't have a home of my own. I don't get to make the rules. I don't get to decide who gets to come stay with me or for how long. There's miles of paperwork in triplicate for pretty much everything. And then I get a package in the mail today from somebody who is sending me things that are useful. Let me tell you something. This right here, this is useful. This is an intelligent gift from somebody who knows. These right here, you know what these are? Horse rags. Yeah. Or washcloths. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say the wrong thing culturally. Washcloths. Because they're useful. Because of my allergies. They're even extra strength. Most medications aren't going to work right in my system. Anyway, getting back to girly eyebrows over there. I was visiting somebody who said he was done with that kind of life. That predator went over there, said hello to me, told me he got 7 kids now. And then he proceeded to ask this other gentleman if you wanted to done with it means done with it. And that's how quickly people can lose my trust. Now, that predator never had my trust. The guy that I was visiting, so I'm all antsy right now, and I'm playing with this, and I'm feeling like crap. My back hurts, and my head hurts, and I ain't gotten no sleep. The allergy pill might work right. The acetaminophen won't touch anything. It'll make it hurt just a slight bit less, but once the medication wears off, it hurts so much worse. So I'm not going to go back over there. He also told me about another guy that I used to know. I say used to know because people are fond of saying, you don't know me anymore. You haven't talked to me in blah, blah, blah years. I'm like, yeah, but you got a hold of me after blah, blah, blah years, didn't you? Tell me, oh, Sean, I knew it wasn't you. I knew it wasn't you. Well, that's great. But that didn't guarantee my safety from the police. 0.2% of the population accounts for 81% of the incarceration. As well as nearly half of all police killings in 2019. The police killed 217 homeless people in 2019. 217, that's on the conservative side. Some of those numbers are as high as 1,100. How can we have 1,100 homeless people shot in the United States of America by police and not know it? How could we have 217 people? Just 217 is a horrible number to hear, especially on this supposed greatest country on earth. When people send useful stuff, it means they understand. I mean, between sending food to somebody who's starving and sending them an Xbox, well, they need food. If you say, well, you should sell the Xbox for food then, well, now I have to try to sell the Xbox. I'm probably going to get less than you paid for it. That was not an intelligent thing to do. There are a lot of things that people don't think about when you're homeless because they've never been homeless. I've had people who made fun of me and told me how terrible I was for choosing to live that way. I was like, you know what? The economy's getting worse. Things are getting worse. You might end up out here. And some of those people did end up out there. They said, Sean, I didn't know it was going to be like this. Why didn't you tell me? I did. I did tell you it was that way. Just like I told you about those injections. long before this channel existed. Not as in my YouTube channel, but I mean YouTube. Yes, I've been speaking out longer than there has been internet. The internet did not exist when I started speaking out. We need to work together. When I see large groups of people harming each other because they don't have what it takes to go after the ones who are actually doing these things, there's a major issue. If the police are the ones who are committing these crimes, please don't kill old people. Don't kill children. Don't go smacking little kids around on the bus. Oh. If you have to defend yourself, then by all means do so. It is your right to live. If you have to defend your family with a shotgun, I'd say it's a sad day, but the fact is it happens all over the world every day. And a lot of those people don't actually have shotguns to defend their families with. They got the water running outside. With every new electronic device, this one's not new. I've had it for almost 2 years now, I believe. At least a year. This I just got today, and it's cool. It's pink on the back. So I got a pretty steep learning curve. I had to type into the thing on my computer how to find the internet browser on an iPad. Turns out it's something called Safari. Now, I used to have a MacBook Pro. I got this from a hippie who said it didn't work, and it did work, but not well. And he said it was from his old roommate, left it there for him because he couldn't pay the rent. And apparently it was not quite the case. There's a guy named Larry who also had to deal with that whole situation. Larry didn't do nothing wrong, and neither did I. Larry didn't get in any trouble. I did. The guy who sold me the computer didn't. They already knew who it was. They just weren't going to do their jobs. They don't have to when you're homeless. If you had any idea how many more resources were spent to lock up the homeless rather than go after the actual drug dealers, man, why you always want to grab the low man on the totem pole? There's always another crackhead around the corner. If you want to cut it off, you got to cut off the flow at the source. Taking these folks who are at the bottom and they're stuck in these addictions and locking them up away from their loved ones to think about it. No, they've been thinking about it. They're stuck in that. When they get out, most of them will go back to it. Are most of those people who are homeless addicts? Well, statistically speaking, no. Also, statistically speaking, there is a higher rate of addiction among people in houses currently in the United States. If 1 in 3 people in the United States has a chemical dependency, some studies say 2 out of 3. That's quite a number. But if you look at the comparison with everywhere else in the world, yeah, we consume 75% of the entire world's supply. So we're taking a lot of pills, a lot of opiates. That's what we like to push here. And a lot of stuff like Ritalin, clonidine, and mepramine. What is it? Zoloft, and Zephyram, and Orap, and Pimzide, lithium, and Prozac. I don't know if I said Prozac already. I guess it don't matter. But now I'm gonna, I guess, try to figure out how to get this thing going. The biggest issue with being homeless is that you're pretty much everybody's scapegoat. Well, there's thieves running around. Let's see if we can go sucker a homeless person. Woohoo! Public pretender doesn't do shit. Is there a reason that homeless people call public pretenders public pretenders? Yes, there is. For the very same reason that many people in houses call them that. Sometimes they'll talk good game to you, but when it comes down to doing their jobs, no, they're gonna fold every time. When you're homeless, you are trading fodder. Public pretender has a mother of 6 got busted selling meth. That mom really wants to see her kids. She wants to be with her kids. She shouldn't be locked up. She shouldn't be locked up. Maybe you could help her get into treatment. Help her get into treatment. Give me 3 homeless people to throw in there and you got a deal. And that's not a deal between the public pretender and their client. That's a deal between the public pretender and the prosecutor. I had one of my public pretenders tell me that they basically had to trade cases like baseball cards. Well, these are human lives, and the more you bounce it around like that, the more errors are going to be made. The more everybody is overwhelmed with getting absolutely nothing done. That's just ludicrous. Meanwhile, there's the expense of it all. I get disability now. Of course, we got the COVID going on. There's always some reason why I can't turn these predators in, ain't there? But mostly, I need someone to go in with me, or they're not going to take me seriously, and they're not going to do their jobs. A lot of people did a lot of good things for me. And I spoke up. I said the good things that they were doing for me. And they swore they would speak up. They swore that they would write police reports. They swore that they would help me get a lawyer. But the most important thing before all of that was getting back into a place, having a roof over my head that's mine. I mean, this is stressful shit, and for 3 years I've been bounced around like a fucking pinball. Which is why I'm glad for people who understand. People who've been through at least a part of it. I think it sucks that they had to go through it. But also, for a lot of y'all, when you victim shame, I tell you that I hope it happens to you. Do I really want you to go through that? No, I want you to stop shaming the victims. Anyway, this is some sort of cologne. I guess, I don't know, I might spray some a little bit and see what it smells like. It says pure water, but I'm not going to try to drink it because it says eau de toilet spray. That's just weird. I want to show you that. That's something I always thought was weird. Now, I understand that it's French and that's not how you pronounce it, but see. Eau de toilet spray. This is probably the only thing that isn't useful for me and all of that. Because I also got underarm deodorant, and that is useful. Cologne, I understand. We call it a horse bath. Where you take this stuff and you spray it all over you. Me, I usually, when I took one, I'd spray one spray into my hand, rub it in some water, wipe it down my face, down my body, and down my legs, call it a day. But this guy with 7 kids who was over here wanting to do them drugs. 7 kids. He was homeless in Denver for a while. And he was reminding me of that today. Things ain't always what they seem. And yeah, I understand that he's got those girly eyelashes. Almost every girl in town's had sex with this dude. Nearly all of them say it's because he's got those big long eyelashes. Is it sexist to call them girly? I know quite a few guys who do their eyebrow or eyelashes, but that's because they're cross dressers. I know a few men who are very specifically wanting to look girly, but they don't want to have surgery. And I know a few that are trying to get jobs so they can afford to get the surgery. But you know what? With all the rambling that I've done today, the people I fight for the most are foster kids. They're number one on the list for victimization. They get victimized at home. They get given a choice between staying with their predator or getting locked up. And once you're locked up, terrible things can happen to you, and there's nothing that you can do. Which police department do you go to? Who do you go to when you're abused because of what police officers said, and then you're supposed to go to their superior? All that does is tip off their superior so that they can go tell their officers, hey guys, go fucking hide some shit. That allows those cops a heads up. Those cops kept on telling me, oh yeah, I'll investigate it, I'll investigate it, I'll investigate it. Well, they fucking didn't. They told me it wasn't their job, not their jurisdiction. They made every excuse, even when it was in their jurisdiction, every excuse why it's okay that these things are happening to me. Did any of these officers at any point in time stop and take a look at what the hell was going on? No. So I'm glad there's people that aren't stupid. When I'm dead, if you want to send roses, don't. Roses ain't gonna do me no good. And how expensive are those things, by the way? Better off spending that money to buy a hobo a real fucking hamburger. And yeah, I know there's gonna be people who are gonna be offended at that, that's fine. Doesn't have to be a hamburger. All right. I'm gonna try to get some sleep now. I don't know how to use this thing. Maybe somebody in town knows. Most of the people I know who know how to run this are kids of people that I know. I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna go ask a 10-year-old how to run this thing. I don't even want to deal with that goddamn hornet's nest. Anyway, good night, y'all. Be safe. And please knock off the fucking racist bullshit. We don't need more dead bodies. We need less dead bodies. What the cops did resulted in 21 people being dead. Each and every one of these situations, I had spoken out about these actions happening to me before they happened to these other people. Like Waylon Lowithi's victims, Boulder Police Department's victims. To those of you trying to do something useful, thank you. We need more of that, not talk, not just talk on the internet. The thing that sucked for me is that I never had a voice. No matter what, I try to speak up for myself and I'm not allowed. And then I have to control stuttering. And then I have to control my eye winking and my wrist movements and other various tics related to Tourette syndrome. And then I have to try to act normal for you guys. One of the worst things up there in Washington, or up there in Montana, Lana said to me, Sean, you can't expect the world to change for you. Well, duh. I'm not stupid. It's not an expectation, it is a goal, and it's not just for me. But Lana has never had to live it. Now, as far as the stories that she told about when she was younger, maybe she did have to live in her vehicle for 2 weeks. And that does suck. 2 weeks of that is scary enough because really it's difficult not to have cops coming up and banging on your window. And although police tend to be nicer to women, that depends on what she looks like in most cases. Please help stop the madness. Thank you, everybody who's doing something useful. Thank you for the soap, it's useful. Thank you for the wash rags, they're useful. Thank you for the socks. If you guys know any homeless people, even if you think they're ugly as sin or you don't like the way they look, they're too skinny, so they must be on crack, or whatever the excuse is that you have for driving by and pretending that they're a statue. Socks, okay? They're not going to drink socks. They're not going to put vodka and take shots through their socks. They're not going to buy a pack of cigarettes with them socks. They're not going to buy crack with them socks. If there's all these things that you guys are so paranoid that homeless are going to buy, let me tell you what most of the homeless people spend their money on. Food and socks. You still have to eat. What you think, one meal a day? Or one meal every 3 days or 5 days? Or in some of these places, many of these places, Zero meals. You're gonna get skinny. You're gonna starve. But everybody assumes because you're getting skinny because you're starving that you must be on drugs. Meanwhile, statistically speaking, yeah, there are more drug addicts per capita in houses than there are on the streets. That's just nuts. That is not the bias that we teach people, is it?